Saberland, Vader's Vault here with the instructional video and operational guide for the limited edition Starkiller Run Sabers. So the time has finally come after some heavy redesigns, actually twice now. We are getting these finished up and they will begin shipping in the next few days. And I want to go over some of the basic operations of the Saber, how to maintain it, and what to look out for. So first off, this is the Starkiller. This is a clean version, one of the very few that actually elected for a clean hilt. So we're going to go over a few of the details and turn it on and play with it and show you the chassis, and then sort of show you some of the ins and outs of maintaining this guy. Okay, so a few things. Operationally, these are your buttons here, these little plungers that are sticking up in the control box. The forwardmost button that is towards the blade holder is the on-off button, and the back one is your auxiliary button for activating your auxiliary effects or navigating the menu. Everything else is internal as far as all the operational stuff. No longer is this a recharge port. That is actually now an indicator port, so the indicator lights for both charging and connection, USB connection and diagnostics show up through that porthole. So there's no longer the charge port for the Saber. All right, so get it booted on.
What is your will, my master?
All right, so we've got a brand new, awesome sound font based on the TFU games by Sith. So he made us a brand new font for that. So he's been making a lot of our fonts lately because he does great work, a lot of unique spin on things that we like from him. And so he made us a great font based on the game. And we've also added a few of the other sounds as part of the package, the menu access.
Accessing Imperial records.
The Force Unleashed.
Which is, of course, Proxy, our good friend droid. And then, of course, the menu background music is the meditation chamber scene from TFU1. So those two things carry over from previous Starkiller runs. We had to have them on this one, but we have a brand new Smooth Swing Starkiller font by Sith.
What is your will, my master?
All right, so let's get it powered on and show you guys a few features here. All right, this of course is pixel, so you get the nice scrolling effects and color changing. We've got the exposed illuminated quartz crystal here in the open chamber that will also blade match. And of course, spectrum activates by pressing both buttons.
Spectrum.
And then you can tilt it down through the colors in a fan-like motion, get to the color you want, and you can either tap and exit or press and hold.
Blade profiles.
And then you can change your blade profiles to different effects. Okay. Navigating the menu, press and hold your auxiliary button.
Accessing Imperial records.
Actually,
The Force Unleashed.
This side, this is your diagnostics light that's letting you know that it's in menu access mode. And you can press either button to navigate the menu to go backwards or forwards.
Audio player. SD card. System menu. Games. Exit menu.
Nightfall.
Exit game. Audio.
The Force Unleashed.
Vengeance.
The Force Unleashed.
Get to the font that you want, press and hold the auxiliary button,
Master, we can defeat him together!
and it boots up into that sound font that you choose. And you're ready to go. Okay, now, on the inside, you access all of the rest of the stuff by unscrewing the grip. Obviously, you want to be careful doing so. Okay, and this will allow you access to, if you chose the upgrade, to view the OLED screen there. If you did not choose the OLED screen upgrade, you will have a rear piping detail that goes there. But this gives you access to your charging and the USB access, and also your nice display accent LED sequence there. So it's great, you know, if you want to put this on display in an open fashion, you have something that to look at that's nice and blinky. All the good stuff that you're going to want to access is behind the speaker. So for charging, or for direct SD card access, or for USB access for swapping fonts, whatnot, that is behind the speaker. So you're going to want to rotate the speaker counterclockwise until it pulls free. Okay, and you can set that to the side, and then you can look down in there and you'll see the SD card here at the top, and you can see the USB port there at the bottom. The USB port is how you're going to charge the saber, and you're going to want to use, just like our combat class sabers, you're going to want to use a USB-C to USB-A cord. So USB-A on one end to connect to your power source, either a computer or a wall wart, and then the USB-C for plugging into the saber. Now when you plug it into the saber, you will see both a blue and a red light if it needs charging. The blue light lets you know that it's connected, and the red light shows you that it's charging. It will turn green when it's charged. But you will see both lights separately. One is on the top, one is on the bottom in the indicator porthole. When you're done charging, or done with your SD card access, whatever you wanted to do, what you're going to want to do is put line that screw up with that half moon shaped slot there. You're going to push it in, and then you want to rotate it clockwise until it stops. And then you can test it. Make sure you have audio. Good to go. And then when you put your grip back on, just make sure that you don't feel any binding in the threads, and screw it back on. Okay. Also, just to let you know, if you didn't watch the other video, your serial number for your saber is on the cover tech wheel here, laser engraved. So it'll be VVSK-R3, that's for the run 3, and then the 3-digit number. So this is 009. Okay. Now, just like in our combat class, if you get stuck in the menu,
Accessing Imperial records.
The Force Unleashed.
Audio player. SD card USB access.
so say you selected that and you weren't connected to a computer and you want to just get back out, it's easy to just connect the USB to a computer and then eject it like any other USB device.
Audio.
The
But if you
Force
can't,
Unleashed.
You have nothing left to teach me.
I will show you how to access the kill switch. So it does have a power kill switch or recycling switch that would be useful for this kind of situation, or useful for long-term storage. But it does require you to have a small, very fine point Phillips head screwdriver, and you want to take these little screws out at the back. So these two little guys right there, you just want to take those out. And I like to have the speaker next to me when we do this because it's a magnet, and you can just put them right there on the dish and they won't roll away and get lost and you know, lead you to scream and yell and all sorts of bad stuff. Alright, once you have the screws out, then you can you don't even have to do it very far. You just can slide this just that far. And then you can see the kill switch right there. So it's a slide switch, so you can just recycle power, turn it off and then back on. Or like I said, if you're putting it in long-term storage, you want to save your battery, just click that switch off, slide it back closed, put those screws back in, put your speaker module back in, and close it back up. That's all you really want to do. You don't want to take this whole sheath off. There's a lot of electronics packed in there, and if you go messing around in there, you not only could mess something up, but you definitely would void your warranty if you did so. So I suggest not taking the whole sleeve off. Like I said, you only have to separate it like about 3/16 of an inch just to get access to that slide switch in there. Close it back up. Put the screws back in, and you're good to go. All right, so a couple of other operational things. We mentioned using the USB for accessing through the back and using it to change your settings if you want to. Since all of the Starkillers do come with Bluetooth, that is probably going to be the easiest option to connect to Rice on your PC or your Mac. And once again, the pin number is 113811. 113811 is the pin number for the Bluetooth. Okay, so the other thing about the Starkillers is that we use natural metals for now. I mean, unlike the first two runs, which we had like an anodized metal for the copper accents front and back, this is now actual copper at the back grip and at the front emitter, as well as the copper optics heatsink there and the copper rod going into the crystal. Those things will tarnish. Okay, copper tarnishes, especially depending on how much it's handled and how much, different air quality, whatnot. So it will darken, it will oxidize. If you like that sort of thing, a lot of people do. They like the natural patina. It's great. If you want to keep it nice, bright, and pink, like you see here, sometimes it doesn't even make it through shipping without it starting to tarnish. That's just the nature of copper. So we do recommend, if you want to keep it nice, bright, and pink, that you go get yourself some Tarnex or Brasso or some other copper tarnish. It's available at any grocery store and definitely any hardware store. But most grocery stores carry Tarnex for cleaning copper. And definitely apply it with a Q-tip, wipe it off with a clean cloth and whatnot, and you'll be right back to normal in no time. The blade retention screw is an 832 size blade retention screw. It does come with the 5/64 inch Allen wrench. But if you do lose it, again, those are available at pretty much any hardware store. 5/64 inch Allen wrench to operate your blade retention. In the box with your USB cord, you will also be getting our thumb drive here. That is got our logo on it. Don't throw it away. It's very handy. It does have the user guide. It will have the link to this video in here. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a printed user guide like our combat class manual. But it will have the link to this video as well as the CFX user manual, other helpful links, as well as your backup files, very handy, for your SD card contents. So you will get the USB, you will get your thumb drive, very important, and you will also get your Allen wrench for your blade retention. That's really all of the maintenance and operations of this. It doesn't have a removable battery, so you don't have to worry about anything like that. It is the battery is permanently installed, so when it does need charging, you do need to plug it in, but there is the option to use a kill switch if you want to do long-term storage that way. Otherwise, you can rely on the deep sleep, which should give you several weeks of storage time without significant battery drainage, and you can just boot it back up.
What is your will, my master?
The deep sleep feature is set to go pretty quickly. For those of you who have a penchant for wanting to put it on display and see the blinky lights and whatnot, you may want to go in and either using the Bluetooth feature or the direct USB feature, and you can adjust the length of time for deep sleep. That way it'll have your blinky lights and crystal chamber effects on for longer periods of time, which is nice if you want to put it on display. We do appreciate everybody's patience. We know this run has taken a long time. It's a very complex build, and we want this to be perfect. It's our flagship saber. It's the saber that got us into this business, and it's very special to us. And we know that these are going to be very special to you, and when you guys get them, you guys are going to love them, I promise. So again, these will start shipping in the next several days, and then we're going to go from there, and hope you guys enjoy them. Thanks again, and may the Force be with you.